Title: The Smile Lost in the Shadow of the Sycamore. Nestled in the shadow of a grand old sycamore, the tranquil village of Saint-Martin-les-Galliards was known for its lush fields and winding roads. It was here that a young woman named Elise lived, a woman whose laughter flowed like a bubbling brook and whose eyes sparkled like the sunlight falling on the vineyards. Elise's life was intertwined with the harmonious rhythm of Saint Martin. She worked at the village bakery, baking golden croissants and fragrant loaves of bread each morning. Her fingers danced familiarly with the dough, and her heart was filled with the quiet energy of the village. One day, like a sudden storm, Julien arrived in Saint-Martin. He was an artist with a restless soul that could only find peace on a canvas. His eyes were like a deep ocean, full of stories and ambition. Julien rented a run-down cottage at the edge of the village, determined to paint the local landscapes. Elise and Julien first met in the village square. Elise was returning from the market with a bunch of fresh lavender when she accidentally bumped into Julien, scattering the lavender around them. Their eyes met, and in that moment, the world seemed to pause. Julien picked up the lavender with a charming smile. The following weeks felt wrapped in a magical haze. Julien showed Elise hidden corners of the village where time seemed to stand still. They shared stories while sitting on old bridges, laughed in the vineyards, and dreamed beneath the sycamore tree that had stood watch over the village for centuries. Elise's laughter, already sweet, became even more radiant with Julien. Her eyes could no longer hide the feelings that deepened with every passing moment. Julien opened a new world to Elisea, world where colors were more vivid and dreams felt within reach. He shared his art with her, revealing the passion and longing behind each brushstroke. In Julien's soul, Elise saw a mirror and realized she had never truly known herself before. Their love blossomed like a delicate flower in the soil of Saint-Martin. Each day brought a new adventure, a new promise. They attended village festivals together, tasted local wines, and danced under the stars. Their love became the talk of the villager's story, echoing through walls and hearts. But like every magical story, there came a turning point. Julien had to leave for Paris for a major exhibition and opportunity that could change his career forever. It was a difficult time for both. The day of farewell was a cold autumn day. The sycamore leaves glowed golden, but Elise's eyes held only sorrow. Julien embraced her, breathing in her scent, and promised he would return soon. Elise believed his words, though a shadow of unease loomed in her heart. After Julien's departure, Saint-Martin fell quiet once more. Elise found refuge in her routine, but a void lingered in her heart. Each morning she went to the bakery, immersed herself in familiar tasks, but Julien's laughter echoed in her mind. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Elise wrote many letters to Julien, pouring out her feelings, dreams, and memories. But no reply ever came. Slowly, the flame of hope in her heart flickered, and the cold wind of despair crept in. The villagers noticed her sorrow. They tried to comfort her, to share stories and inspire her with dreams of the future, but nothing helped. Elise had become a solitary soul in Saint-Martin, adrift without Julien. One day, a letter arrived from Paris. It was from one of Julien's exhibition organizers. The letter spoke of Julien's success, his recognition as a prominent artist, but it said nothing about Elise. Her heart broke. She couldn't understand why Julien had forgotten her. Was their love so fragile that it couldn't survive distance and ambition? Had his dreams changed his heart? Elise made the painful decision to forget Julien. She locked away her memories in a wooden chest and cast it into the river, hoping the current would carry her past away. She dried her tears and tried to look toward the future. She began working harder at the bakery, learned new recipes, treated her customers with warmth, and tried to appreciate the beauty around her. Slowly, a new flame began to kindle in her heart, a flame that helped her rediscover herself and shape her future. One spring day, Elise was sitting in the village square when she noticed a strange and old man with deep-set eyes and the wrinkles of a well-lived life. He approached her and asked, "Are you Elise?" She nodded. "My name is André," he said. "I was a friend of Julien." Elise's heart began to race. She asked André about Julien. André told her that Julien had indeed found success in Paris, but he had never been truly happy. He always remembered Elise, dreamed of her, and wanted to ask for her forgiveness. "Then why didn't he write to me?" Elise asked. André explained that Julien had fallen gravely ill. He knew he didn't have much time left, and he didn't want to burden Elise with his pain. Instead, he had left her a beautiful painting portrait of Elise beneath the sycamore tree. Julien wanted her to remember him, not in sickness, but in the way she had known him in Saint-Martin, joyful and free. André handed her the painting. As Elise gazed at it, her eyes welled with tears. She felt the depth of Julien's love, his sorrow, and his greatness. She forgave him. Elise decided to keep Julien's love alive in her heart. She hung the painting in the bakery, where everyone could see his art and remember the love story that once breathed life into the village. She continued her life in Saint-Martin. She turned the village bakery into a beloved institution, explored her own creativity, and helped those in need. Elise became a strong, independent woman who who transformed heartbreak into strength. In the shadow of the sycamore, Elise forever cherished Julian's smile. She knew their love would always stay with her, a memory that would inspire and guide her. And every time she stood beneath the tree, she could feel Julian's presence, his love, and the glimpse of his smile.